We need to welcome you to another great time on Quest Television in Quest 93.1 FM. It's definitely Quest today, and well, we need to say it's a beautiful day for us to give God all the glory for being making us see another bright new day. We're really winding down to the year, and what better way to thank God rather than say, well, it's a beautiful morning, Lord, we thank you. But I need to welcome you. My name is Mike Egobadia, and it's always important that we do this on the platform, and we're talking about Quest Television and Quest 93.1 FM. And you do know we'll always enjoy starting with the papers, and later on Quest Today, the big story will come. But talking about the papers for review today, we have 5 papers. We have the Nigerian Tribune, the Guardian is here, the Nation, the Punch, and the Vanguard, as always, is also here. But you do know they are both here with me also, and I'm talking of my very own colleague, Orikemi Miriam, and, well, the soon-to-be ordained bishop. I was talking about Comrade Efe Adamo. Guys, good morning, and it's another brand new Friday.
This guy, our lady.
Oh, well, anyways, thanks for that correction.
It's lady and never to be ordained bishop.
Okay, well, anyways, I can say Papa and Mama, but anyways, I'll be correct.
Don't Mama me.
No. Okay. Well, Papa and Lady, we need to really let them enjoy the show. And like I said, we have 5 papers for review, like the Guardian, like I said, the Nation, the Punch, the Vanguard, and Nigerian Tribune. But I'll also start with Nigerian Tribune as we look through the papers together. And on the Nigerian Tribune this morning, the leading story reads, we expect less revenue from oil in 2024. I'm not saying so. But funny enough, the CBN governor feels strongly about it, and he blames illegal bunkering and divestment by international oil companies as a reason, and says inflation exchange rates decline. And I really like to get Comrade Adomo's thought, especially as it concerns the inflation and the exchange rate. But anyway, I'll plead with you to continue that story on page 4. Rivers crisis, more commissioners resign. Fubara signs 800 billion naira appropriation bill into law as the G27 seats adopt local government autonomy bill. Wow. One state, 2 House of Assembly. Well, it's really a problem, but please get that story on page 28. And let's see if we take more shake-up in aviation as federal government sacks directors in agencies. And you can really read up that story on page 23. Supreme Court decides Nnamdi Kanu's fate today. And you can really read up that story on page 2. National Assembly to probe $496 million payment to Indian firm on Itakpe iron ore concession. It's a screamer on page 12. Let's build and share a future from a divided past. Ayedatiwa to Ondo people. You can really get that story on page 2. Funding still major challenge universities. I'm not saying so, but Vice Chancellor seems to be screaming out that loud on page 4. And Makinde cautions traditional rulers against giving permission for mining. And Sean, coronation begins with 150 million empowerment, but empower yourself with that on page 8. Tinubu as Minister of Petroleum illegal. Falana says President not screened by Senate. He's really correct there.
Part of the constitutional requirement is the man must be screened.
Yes, and funny enough, you can really read up that juicy story on page 4 and 29 of the Nigerian Tribune. But the picture of the day is that of Governor Seyi Makinde presenting the staff of office to the Oba Oluwale Oyebola is the Isere of Asere. Well, anyways, I hope I got that right.
You tried your best.
Well, anyway, that's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, the next paper for review this morning is The Guardian. And on the front page of The Guardian is talking about a major one there in Rivers State as Fubara signs the budget. 5 commissioners resign and pro-Wike lawmakers pass the bill. And you can read more on that on page 6. But below that, you can see the pictures of Wike and that of Fubara, and they're both not looking happy.
No, not at all.
But like I said, more details on that on page 6. Moving on, we have restoring the dignity and functions of the police is a headline making it down the front page of The Guardian. But do also read more on that on page 12. And also, Jumia ends food delivery in Nigeria and other African countries come 31st of December. I wonder why. But Comrade will no longer be able to order food
He doesn't have that from Jumia. I know where he takes from. One woman at Toto. But anyway, just continue. Okay, well, sorry about that. Sorry I spilled.
More details on that on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. Moving on, we have a tragedy as overhead water tank collapses and kills 9-day-old baby and mother in Ondo State. Quite a sad one there indeed. May the souls rest in peace. But more details on that on page 8 of the Guardian. Nigerians free to video and photograph officers on duty, says the police.
Wow.
Yes, quite that's a bold one there. But more details on that on page 2. And also federal government faults World Bank and insists fuel subsidy is gone. You can get more details on that on page 3 of the Guardian. Anxiety in Southeast, the Supreme Court rules on Nnamdi Kanu today. Is also making it to the front page there. But if you want more details on that, you can go to page 3. And another headline there on the front page of the Guardian, it says cosmetic surgery when search for perfect silhouettes leads to undesirable outcomes. And you can see the numbers of cosmetic surgeries and the quantity, of the surgeries that actually occur every other day. And it's a chart basically. But more details on that on page 4 and 5 of the Guardian. And at this point, that's much you can take on the front page of the Guardian newspaper.
Okay, well, let's quickly run to the Punch and see what the Punch also has as a major one. A quite different story from the others. Reject World Bank 750 naira per litre proposal. NSE wants federal government. And we're talking about fuel price. And right next to that says, Labour says fresh price hike will lead to anarchy. And federal government insists subsidy has been removed. Tinubu government fears unrest, subsidizing fuel secretly, marketers allege, project 1,000 naira per litre. And whoa, anyway, that more of that projection story you can get on page 2 of the Punch. I'm getting a headache there. I won't go there anyway. 6 Rivers commissioners resign. Assembly factions hold parallel seating. And ABC faults Rivers court verdict. Vows to petition NJC. And again, more of that petition on page 18. Aviation agencies, 50 directors sacked as EFCC drills NCAA chair. And you can all chief, you can get that on page 29. But let's quickly take some other major stories just beneath the picture of the day. 32 state budget of 14 trillion for roads, health and others. Well, nice one then. But you can get that story on page 29. But sad one on page 4 and 5. Kidnappers return to Lagos, adopt to demand 500 million naira ransom. And you can really understand that story. National Assembly probes $496 million in Takpe iron ore judgment payment. We just wish this is more like the P&IG. And let's see if we really P&ID. Let's see if we can really overturn that and save ourselves a lot of money. But anyway, just save yourself and read more of that story on page 29. The picture of the day and also a story on page 28 is custom generates 70% revenue from Lagos, says Controller General. And well, for many it's no surprise. Reasons are because of yes. Yeah, okay. Well, anyways, I do know that's the much I can take from the Punch. And funny enough, it's the picture of the day.
Okay, well, we're quite glad that our comrade is not part of those, involved in the whole cosmetic surgery issue. Well,
anyways, it's becoming a trend, and I feel the ladies are... Okay, but let's leave that one and just go ahead.
Yes, the next paper for review this morning is The Nation. And on the front page of The Nation newspaper reads, Crisis, 6 commissioners resign from Fubara's government. 2 writers to that, 27 lawmakers sit at Assembly Complex, and also Governor signs 800 billion naira budget passed by 4 lawmakers.
Wow.
More details on that on page 4, or on the front page, and you can continue that story on page 4 of The Nation. Moving above the masthead, retirees get 1.63 trillion naira under contributory pension scheme. Yes, more details on that on page 7. And I am for peace. Aiyedatiwa declares after resumption. Making it there on the headline too, but you can read more on that on page 5. Ashen gets staff of office as Sowu's coronation begins. It's making it to page 27, but still keeping it there on page 27. It says infrastructure top squires 296.4 billion naira 2024 estimates. Like I said, you can get both stories on page 27 of The Nation newspaper. Moving below the masthead, coming from President Tinubu says, we're working with lawmakers to fix economy. You can read more on that on page 5 after reading on the front page. And also, slim allocation threatens Edo and Ondo governorship polls and others, says the INEC. Electoral agency 6 raise of votes to 89 billion naira. And NDDC owing contractors 50 billion naira, Minister tells lawmakers. Read more on that on page 4 after reading on the front page of The Nation. Directors of aviation agencies sacked is making into page 3 of The Nation newspaper. And also we have another bottom headline there. It says from Alake, local and international investors coming to us in droves. You can get more details on that on page 7. But at this point, that is the much we can take on the front page of The Nation newspaper.
The Vanguard will be the last paper for us to quickly look at, and on the Vanguard this morning, the leading story, just like many others, river crisis, assembly factions flex muscles. Well, anyway, this is more like WWE. G27 lawmakers fight back, says we will not succumb to harassment and intimidation. But I'll tell you, don't intimidate yourself, but read more of that story on page 5. Let's see if we take more stories just ahead or at the top mass of the Vanguard. Patriotism will put Nigeria on the right path, while says President Tinubu on page 9. Bank deposits surge in 2023 to 64.29 trillion. Woo! Well, that's a lot. Naira, it is. And the World Igbo Congress urges Supreme Court to free Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. And get more of that story on page 11. How to reform Supreme Court. And who is saying that? Well, just grab a copy and you know all of that on page 10. Ekiti bloody robbery. We've recovered 3 vehicles, says police. And COVID-19 resurgence in Benue. Report a misrepresentation of World Health Organization statement, says the NCDC. But anyway, I need to say we'll take more. Aviation Minister sacks all directors of NEMA, NCAA, NIMET, others. And you can understand why on page 8. But another screamer, inflation, exchange rates to drop in 2024, says CBN. And I will need to look at why that will happen. But anyways, the picture of the day is that of Governor Mba and Afribank boss as they met in Egypt just during the weekend. But would I really want to go without doing this? And I need to go to the Mr. and Mrs. column. And as usual, Mrs. will always love to talk first. Anyway, ladies first. Okay. Now, will you shut up and let me talk? You touched another woman's body because she told you a touching story. When was the last time you touched me? And Mr. is always wanting to woe her close. I'm sorry, dear. Please come over and tell me a touching story too. But he's a lucky man. I have a wife that will touch you at the wrong place with a hard slap. And you understand there's no point touching another lady.
My God.
Well, a lucky man he is then. But anyway, well, that's the much you can take from the papers. We need to now open up the lines, get your reactions, get your views as it concerns the dailies. And well, the numbers will be with you shortly. But Miriam, give us the honors of letting them know.
Okay, well, the numbers to call are already on your screen for those on TV, but they remain the same for radio: 081 88 888 931 and 0022 931 931. Do not forget, state your name and the location before you have your say. It seems as though we have a caller already. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Square family.
Yes, good morning. Your name and
I
your
greet
location.
you all.
Well, thank you so much.
Mr. Friday.
Mr. Friday calling on a Friday.
Friday. It's a great day. Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you as well. Please have your say.
State of River State. I think I want to say that we shouldn't be blaming Wike for now. I think what we should be talking about is the issue. And the issue is the godfatherism in this country, which has been sort of creating a problem in the democracy of this country. Yes. So we have to give this godfatherism because it's not helping the state. It's not helping the country. Please, instead of blaming Wike, this thing has been an issue in this country. Let us give it for godfatherism in this country. It is not too good. It's not too good. Let us keep this godfatherism so that we have a peaceful democracy in this country. That is what Mr. Frank from Ezoko is saying this morning. Let's see this issue before it will become a problem.
Thank
you, Mr.
much.
Friday. Well, it looks as if he is really venting it out, and the crisis that seems not to be abating anytime soon in Rivers and having more drama by the day. But anyway, we'll have more calls. That's what we'll take today. Hello, good morning to you.
Henry from Moscow.
Oh, Henry from Moscow, always a regular. Good morning. A lovely weekend. Go ahead.
Rivers crisis. More commissioner resign. Now, it is high time the federal government looks into this issue before we ask anarchy, because we have seen that 4 commissioners have declared those people like they are vacant. If it is therefore that we can see if that is governor, and it's going to be a case of anarchy. And as the last caller said, it is high time we remove all this concerning for this country. Then again, Tinubu as Minister of Petroleum is illegal. And most of us have been saying this before. The funny is that since they have been having this kind of trend from Obasanjo to Buhari, there has not been improvement in the petroleum industry. As regards our ability to advance ourselves. So it is that they put so that they finally reject this political price hike as being advised by World Bank, LSE wants. It's a very good one. They should not subsidize the system again. We are not preaching. They should not be able to stop preaching, please. They should not eat. That's one. I'll with that.
Well, thank you so much, Harry, all the way from Mosuga. And funny enough, just this week alone, we've had 4 major incidents happen in Rivers crisis. And indeed, we're just really alarmed that we might really get more coming next week. Well, let's still remain here. Remember, we'll still come to Comrade Odomo to have his views. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
The first price, let him increase, let him increase the first price. He pays for just point more rules. He pays more rules. He doesn't pay more rules. They want to see the first price. Let it go ahead. That's my contribution this morning. Thank you.
Well, anyways, I doubt if people will be happy with that contribution. Well, option we do have, and that is sticking with the price it is, and reduce any anarchy as being projected by the NLC. But anyway, we'll not reduce the call. Take one, and we'll come to Comrade Odomo. Yeah, Miriam, do us the honors.
Hello, good morning.
My brother from another mother, my career. Good morning.
Well, that must be Officer Mike, and we know when he's...
You are very, very correct, my brother.
Go ahead.
I greet Comrade Odomo and our sister there. I greet all of you.
I will ask on her behalf.
My career.
Yes.
Somebody have not been hearing from radio for now. Monday Okundaye from Osanogogo.
Oh yes, it has been a
I
while.
hope he's fine. He's a regular caller on this program.
Of course, yes, you're right.
Yes, for some time I have not been hearing.
I just hope all is well with him, and when he does, we'll be more than happy to have his voice join.
Then having said that, the issue in Rivers State, 4 commissioners, 5 commissioners resigned. Those commissioners that resigned, I knew one of them, and I worked with one of them, which is Alabo George Kelly.
Okay.
And those are wicked loyalists to the core that if wicked tell them say don't go, they will not go. But my fear is this: let this thing not degenerate to the extent that they will declare Rivers state of emergency. You understand me?
Yeah.
Let it not degenerate to that level, because I see Wike pushing to that level. And I said it before. This is the time for Rivers Elders, as Ada George just said. This is the time for Rivers Elders to stand up and stood on their ground and side whoever they want to side and put this crisis to a nix. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Officer Mike. It's a crisis that is really disturbing the country. One we talked about extensively yesterday on the big story, but one I also want to get your reaction. Well, we've had 4 major incidents, Comrade Odomo, just this week. The first starting with those 27 lawmakers, their seat being vacant and they defecting, and also the demolition of the State House of Assembly. And now again, we're having 6 major commissioners under this administration throwing the towel. Wow, the drama continues. Your reaction to this, and are we likely going to go to that part Officer Mike seems to be scared of?
Yes, I think
more anarchy.
I'm already thinking along that line, or along that school of thought. Look, we should at least once in a while tell ourselves the truth.
Okay.
You were there, you are no longer there. Does not mean that you should be off and say that you are down. You cannot have two opposite ends positions at the same time. You are not a minister. Do you want to come back and become a governor? If you say that no one wants to dismantle your structure, what of the structure the man that left before you came? What the structure he left behind? Where is it? Did you not dismantle it? Why are you afraid? Why don't you want to eat from the dish you serve people with? Why are we like that in the country? But like the last caller rightly said, actually godfatherism is a big problem. Remember what happened in Anambra during the time of the maker of Anumba Dinuju?
Yes.
Then Chris Uba with
yes,
Ngige.
yes, Dr. Ngige.
These are exactly the type of scenario that is played out in Rivers State. But that of Rivers State is becoming more volatile because, of course, things have also changed.
Yeah, of course.
The man is looking at it that this is the survival of the fittest. If I demolish the House of Assembly complex, the 27 lawmakers will not have a place to sit to have their meeting. And that is what he has done. In Egypt, there was a time in Egypt when the Western powers were coming to overthrow the government. You know what the man did? He sank over 100 ships in the sea to prevent their ships from coming into the water territory of
Egypt.
The same thing this man is doing. But all I do know, if this thing is not called to order with immediate effect, there is going to be a serious anarchy and it will snowball into other regions, not only in the River State. So the elders should actually call Wike to order. I am not saying that Wike is guilty, but with what is happening, everything has pointed at him because of the statement he made. Because if the owl cries yesterday at the back of your house and the child dies this morning, then everybody should just point at accusing fingers to the witchcraft that is said thereby. If you have said the man is dismantling the structure, that's why we are doing what you are doing. So it should also be held responsible for the crisis in the place right now.
Okay, let's move away from the political scene and come over to the social side, to society. It says on the front page of The Guardian, Nigerians free to video and photograph officers on duty, says the police. Please, I need your reaction to this.
Look, Miriam, when the rats gathered that the cats were killing them, actually, it's on an alarming side. They should go and bend the cat so that whenever the cat is coming, the bell will be dangling and making us not run away. They've all agreed to do it. Who is going to carry the bell to go?
How are you saying Nigerians have not been videoing or taking pictures?
That is secret. You can hide and do it. Go and video any policeman taking bribe physically and tell him and place the video on him. In fact, you will be lucky to go back to your home that day. We should just be sincere. We have not matured up to that level. It's just like you are pushing somebody into the lion's den, telling them that you have demobilized the lion. Look, well, I would not even try it. So if you want to go ahead to do it, I wish you
well, Comrade, I wish we had more time because I'm sure people would like to react to that, but I don't think we have time.
Well, anyway, we don't have more time,
Yes.
but I feel we still have one time to just a quick one.
Yeah.
And it's the issue of the inflation. Most likely, like the CBN governor said yesterday, we're going to have a fall in inflation and exchange rate come next year. Should that be optimism for more Nigerians wishing that things will change after a difficult 2023?
Did you listen to the CBN governor yesterday? He said we are going to experience fall in oil revenue.
And divestment from international oil
So
companies.
if you have that, how do you not have fall in inflation rate? There are two opposite ends. You cannot pull, we are pulling this side, now you are pulling this side. It's not possible. We are monocultural when it comes to economy. Now the only source that we're having that flow
from
of
petrol.
You are telling us that the thing will go down. Why would the inflation not go up? Have we been able to monitor our population rate? The population rate grows on every second in Nigeria. The income is reducing, and you are telling us inflation will reduce. What is the magic you want to apply in that situation?
Well, no magic for me to say we're really done with what we have today.
I think I just have a lot of magic.
Well, anyways, I'd just rather not go to Isoko. But all I would say is thank you so much for staying with us and making it a really bumper package all through the week. We really enjoy always having it with you. But maybe I might do know the big story will come next.
Yes, the big story will come next, but something just actually crossed my mind. Edo, Isoko, Yoruba. I think we're on the same line.
Yeah.
If you ask me, yeah.
DIY.
Okay. Well, Michael, what's your plan for the weekend?
Well, I'll tell you that immediately after we're done with Quest today because we need to go. Well, anyways, Domo will always want to push himself into it. But we need to go on that break now. And when we come back, the big story will be next on Quest today.